The priests command the armies to the north and south, but he controls the fight. The Slayer's time is now.
Kill yourself.
SCP personnel found A6 began acting increasingly unsettled, rapid and shallow breathing, aversion to light, and increased in body temperature. It began violently tearing at its skin. It displayed a considerable amount of distress upon realizing its skin was sloughing off, but appeared unable to stop until its head were detached from its body. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you a SCP Foundation Keter-class object, SCP-939. SCP-939, also known as With Many Voices, are endothermic, pack-based predators. The skins of 939 are highly permeable to moisture and translucent red. 939 averagely are 2.2 meters tall when standing upright and weigh an average of 250 kilograms, though weight is highly variable. Each of their 4 limbs end in 3-fingered claws, with a 4th opposable digit, and are covered in seta, which considerably augment climbing ability. Their heads are elongated, devoid of even vestigial eyes or eye sockets, and contain no skull. The jaws of 939 are lined with red, faintly luminescent fang-like teeth. Their teeth can grow up to 6 centimeters. Eye spots sensitive to light and dark run the length of their spine dorsal ridges. These spines may be up to 16 centimeters long and are believed to be sensitive to changes in air pressure and flow. 939's respiratory system is atrophied, but they can exhale minute traces of an aerosolized Class C amnestic, which designated as AMN C227. AMN C227 causes temporary anterograde amnesia, inhibiting memory formation for the duration of exposure, plus an average of 30 minutes. It is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. It has been reported that after being separated from the environment full of AMN C227, subject will have sensations of disorientation and mild hallucination. Subject is usually killed with a single bite to the cranium or neck. Bite forces have been measured in excess of 35 MPa. 939's primary method of luring prey is the imitation of human speech in the voices of prior victims, though imitation of other species and active nocturnal hunts have been documented. They have been documented imitating victims' voice despite never hearing the victim speak. SCP-939 vocalizations often imply significant distress. Whether 939 understand their vocalizations or are repeating previously heard phrases is the subject of ongoing study. Analysis of 939 vocalizations cannot distinguish between 939 and samples of known victims' voices. The use of biometric voice recognition security or identification systems at any installation housing 939 is strongly discouraged for this reason. A log of radio traffic between capture teams during their initial contact with 939 was transcribed and documented. In the initial contact between the capture team and 939, 3 subordinate fire teams, Trapper 1, 2, and 3, were sent out to the outskirts for an inspection following the disappearance of a Foundation field agent. After moments of inspecting the area, Trapper 1 reported to on-scene commander that they smelled something rotten, and they also found some shredded clothing. While Trapper 1 was about to head back up, they heard someone calling for help. According to the transcript of radio traffic, it seems that 939 imitated the human voice and successfully lured Trapper 1. Unfortunately, Trapper 1 was annihilated, and finally, Trapper 2 and 3 had to use large VX gas bombs to control 939. SCP-939 have no apparent physiological need to feed, nor any way to digest consumed tissue. Ingested material typically accumulates in the respiratory system of SCP-939 and is regurgitated once the amount is sufficient to markedly inhibit its function. Despite the absence of many vital organ systems, SCP-939 are capable of bearing live young. According to the documents, one of the 939, named SCP-9391, gave birth to 6 specimens following a gestation period of roughly 12 months, numbered SCP-939-A1 to SCP-939-A6. 939-A1, A4, and A5 were male, while A3 and A6 were female. SCP-939-A2 was stillborn and immediately cannibalized by SCP-9391. When the Foundation personnel took its offspring away from it, it did not show any resistance. 4 of the newborns were dissected by the Foundation personnel, and found no difference between these newborns and human infants. Only 939A6 was kept for observation as it matures. On September 1, 2001, personnel found A6 began acting increasingly unsettled, rapid and shallow breathing, aversion to light, and increased in body temperature. A6 was then transferred into a reinforced concrete containment cell. 939A6 immersed itself in the provided water basin. Minutes later, it was transferred and remained motionless for about 41 hours, at which point it began violently tearing at its skin. It displayed a considerable amount of distress upon realizing its skin was sloughing off, but appeared unable to stop until its head were detached from its body. It appeared morphologically identical to, albeit much smaller than, SCP-9391. After the incident, SCP-939A6 was renumbered as SCP-939101 and then transferred to Bioresearch Area 12 for further study. SCP-939101 is now dismembered, and it's stored in cryogenic preservation tanks. But these tissue fragments are still not dead, and sometimes they will ramble and plea for release. I hope you enjoyed today's video.